Welcome back to the Ancestral Findings podcast. Common genealogy myths can be misleading and frustrating for those tracing their family history. Let's explore some of the most prevalent myths and evidence-based explanations to help you navigate your research accurately and confidently. Have you ever felt that tingle of excitement when you stumble upon a faded photograph of a relative you never knew? That spark often marks the beginning of a journey into the past, one that connects us to distant eras and reveals how our families helped shape the people we've become. Today, thanks to the internet, ancestry research is more accessible than ever. Whether you're digging into old census records or scrolling through ancestry forums, each discovery feels like uncovering a precious family secret. I still remember the thrill I felt the first time I found a mention of my great-grandfather's name in a passenger list. Suddenly, the stories my grandmother used to share seemed more real. It reminded me that genealogy doesn't just keep the memory of our ancestors alive, it also enriches our understanding of ourselves. But as fascinating as this exploration can be, there are plenty of misconceptions that might steer us off course. Let's look at some common myths and clear up the confusion. Myth number 1. Family stories are always accurate. Growing up, I heard my family whisper about a supposedly famous relative who'd lived in a grand estate. After sifting through dusty records, I realized that my ancestors' property was more of a modest farmhouse than a sprawling manor. It was a funny yet enlightening reminder that stories passed down through generations tend to get embellished. Emotions, memory lapses, or the desire to make a story more interesting can all contribute to inaccuracies. Practical tip: whenever you come across a family tale, treat it as a clue rather than an absolute truth. Look for supporting evidence in archival documents, newspaper clippings, and official records to confirm or correct the story. Myth number 2. DNA tests reveal your entire ancestry. There's no denying that DNA testing feels like opening a magical box of secrets. You spit in a tube, send it off, and presto, you get percentages tracing your heritage to different parts of the world. While that's exciting, it doesn't give you the full picture. Your results might connect you to distant relatives you'd never known, but they won't produce the kind of narrative you'd find in old letters or diaries. Practical tip: use DNA results as a starting point. Pair them with traditional research methods to flesh out the dates, places, and stories surrounding your ancestors. Think of DNA as a helpful puzzle piece, just not the entire puzzle. Myth number 3. Genealogy research is straightforward and quick. It's easy to assume that with the right software and a few clicks, your entire family tree will appear in no time. In reality, genealogy can be a slow and meticulous process. Old records might be incomplete, handwritten documents could be hard to decipher, or you may face dead ends when distant relatives seem to vanish into thin air. Practical tip: patience is your best friend. Keep organized notes, maintain a system for saving documents, and don't be discouraged by roadblocks. Sometimes it helps to step away for a while and return later with a fresh perspective. Genealogical research demands a detective's mindset. If someone shares a family legend about a forbidden romance or a hidden inheritance, let your curiosity guide you. Gather multiple sources from official birth and death certificates to newspapers and personal letters. Cross-checking these details helps weed out any tall tales that might have been exaggerated over time. While it's amazing to pinpoint your genetic links to certain regions, remember that DNA results only offer a snapshot of your heritage. They can't tell you, for example, about the hardships your ancestors faced, their occupations, or the culture they cherished. These details often hide in marriage certificates, census data, and local history archives, places where human stories really come to life. Researching family history can be frustrating when leads turn cold or documents are missing, but it's the very nature of the quest that makes each discovery so fulfilling. Every time you confirm a birth year or find a handwritten letter, it feels like unlocking a secret door. Enjoy the smaller victories along the way because these moments create a deeper connection to the people who came before us. Explore online databases for census records, passenger lists, and military documents, but don't forget about local archives and genealogical societies. Libraries often hold hidden treasures like county histories or newspaper archives that you may not find elsewhere. You're not alone in this journey. Fellow enthusiasts gather in genealogical forums, social media groups, and local historical societies ready to exchange tips and stories. Family members, even those you rarely speak to, can be goldmines of information. Sometimes all it takes is a casual phone call to learn about your great-aunt's old diary or an envelope stuffed with old photos. It's easy to accumulate a mountain of documents and notes. To keep track, designate folders for vital records like birth and marriage certificates, and separate folders for miscellaneous items such as newspaper clippings or photos. Keep a research log, jotting down each source you've consulted and what you found or didn't find. Plenty of genealogical software programs can help you map out family trees and attach documents to the right ancestor. Genealogy is a journey rich with possibility. As you peel back the layers of myths and misinterpretations, you'll discover truths that bring your ancestry to life in new ways. Family stories, DNA results, and careful research each play a role, one that becomes most powerful when they're blended together. Yes, it can be challenging at times, and you'll likely have moments when you question the tales you've been told. Yet every puzzle piece, whether a vital record or a snippet of DNA data, makes the tapestry of your family's legacy clearer. In many ways, this process is like greeting old friends you never knew existed, friends who, through triumphs and struggles, made you who you are today. By sticking with it, asking questions, and remaining open to whatever truth you uncover, you'll ensure your genealogical adventure remains an ongoing, meaningful conversation between the past and the present. And believe me, there's nothing quite like the thrill of discovering a story that's been waiting for you to uncover. Thanks for spending time with me on the Ancestral Findings podcast. I always enjoy sharing these stories, tips, and discoveries with you. If you haven't already, head over to ancestralfindings.com, where you can download a free genealogy ebook, request a free lookup, and of course enter to win the next book giveaway. It's been an incredible journey together since 1995, and your support through these past 29 years means more to me than words can express. I'm so grateful for this wonderful community of genealogy enthusiasts who continue to inspire me every day. Keep up the great work on your family history research, and may your next find be as exciting as your first. Thank you again for being part of this journey, and as always, happy searching.